Hi, welcome back to another monthly session of Stardom Circle. Let me start, with something we all feel, but rarely admit. We are all tired, tired of the noise, tired of chasing likes or tweets or chasing algorithms or fine tuning them and being told that we have to be everywhere, be all over the place all the time, and tired of being told to that to grow we need to post more, to talk more, to shout louder, and also sell harder, right? So but here's the truth. Most powerful client attraction systems don't make noise, they create clarity. Correct? Some of the most successful leaders I know, they don't post daily, they don't run ads, they don't cold pitch anyone, especially, and yet their calendars are full, their pipeline is healthy, and their best fit clients actually come to them. They don't, instead of chasing their best clients. Why? Because they have built what I call the silent funnel, a system that works quietly, strategically, and credibly, all in the background. So they only need to speak with or when the right people are already paying attention or already listening. How cool is that? And today I'm going to show you exactly how to build something like that as your own silent funnel. All right. And it's also titled How to Attract Clients Without Ads, Cold Calls, or Social Media Burnout, which is a real thing. So let's get started. In this session, you will learn how to build a silent funnel, a kind of system that attracts your best fit clients quietly and consistently. I mean, quietly in the sense without being loud and without paying ads, and without paying for ads, and without kind of aggressive outreach, or sometimes the content burnout or overwhelm. I mean, you're not forced to create a lot more content than you usually do. And you will also learn why traditional sales funnels are draining and outdated, and how to build authority and trust and interest without chasing your prospects. And the four components, we're also going to talk about the four components of a silent funnel that does all the selling before even a call happens, and how to use strategic assets to get high paying clients with less noise and more ease. Let's do that. All right. So first of all, why is this important? The business world is noisier than ever, and the loudest voice doesn't always win, right? They annoy a lot of people, but the most trusted ones always win, isn't it? So the top reasons this matters now is because number one, ads are expensive today and getting less effective as well. You are paying more for less. You are paying more money to get the attention. You are paying more money to the networks to get those leads than ever before, and also it is getting less effective day by day. And the second thing which was working well earlier, maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago, was cold outreach, which is getting kind of ignored, annoyed, blocked. Even, phone companies are blocking cold outreaches and people don't like them. I mean, I don't like anybody cold calling me out of nowhere, isn't it? And social media, which used to work really, really well earlier, now it is very noisy, sometimes addictive, and often very exhausting on your prospects, isn't it? Both on you, on content creators and content consumers, it's so exhausting. And burnout from chasing clients is real, my friend. Even among elite leaders, it is completely real. So that's why we need to figure this out. You need to understand this concept and see how you can overcome this. And here we are, because Stardom Circle is one such members area where we talk about the latest technologies, latest issues, latest problems, and provide solutions for these problems. And here we are. That's why it's called Stardom Circle. All right. Okay. Let me start with this. Your future clients are still buying, but they are looking for quite confidence, not loud marketing. Nobody likes someone yelling at them. Nobody likes someone sending them all emails in all caps, and nobody likes to get sold, even though they want to still buy. Correct? So that's where we are headed. And I actually stopped chasing, and that's when the best clients started showing up in my own case. So we were also running a lot of ads. Even now we do, but they are very strategically done, very strategically placed. I mean, no need to shout, no need to yell, no need to make the loudest noise when you can strategically attract the right type of people that will find value in what you do. So when I stopped chasing decades ago, and that's what turned me or brought me into this world of publishing and leadership publishing especially. And that's when because I stopped chasing, I started attracting the best clients came forward. And I am so humbled and honored to have worked with 260 world leaders so far and helped them become published authors. They chose me because I stopped chasing them. So the turning point here is shifting from promoting to position. From promoting to positioning. When you position yourself as the right choice in front of an audience, you are more likely to succeed. Instead of telling people you are the right choice, you position yourself as the right choice. Let's see how it's done. I mean, the philosophy is quite simple, which means it's not about being everywhere. It's about being the one they think of the first. See, clients don't need more noise. They need to know who they can trust. And the silent funnel, which we are going to learn how to do today, it works because it is, number one, it is permission based. It is not like push based. You're not pushing anything in front of your audience. You are seeking their permission to add more value. Number two, it is built on trust, not on ads, not on traffic, not on shouting and grabbing the attention of the prospect by the collar. Not going to happen, right? So it has to be built on trust. And three, silent funnels are driven by positioning, not persuasion. When you can persuade, but first you need to position yourself to be able to persuade, isn't it? You need to get their attention and trust. Two most important things anyone should have before they can do anything with anybody in the world is, first you need to get their attention, and then you need to build trust. Anything, business, relationship, friendship, online, offline, you need to get the attention and build the trust. And only then the next steps will follow, whatever that is for you. And this is especially true if in sales situations, in marketing situations, your branding, etc. All right, now how to think through this? What is this big idea? What is this big concept? What is the kind of shift in the mindset that you need to have? Is number one, from how do I get more to how do I become more? How do I create the conditions that people will choose me? I mean, in this case, you. I mean, you're asking yourself, how do I create the conditions where people choose me instead of others? This is about, leading through influence, leading through creating that positioning and purpose and not pressure. Correct? Now, let me ask you to do a little exercise here to visualize what if your calendar filled with inbound leads who are interested in listening to you without you having to post some useless content every day, online on a daily basis. Just visualize. Another visualization exercise would look like this. What if a single interview, or a book, or a referral consistently brought in your best fit clients? You do this once and it keeps working again and again and again to drive more uh, good fit clients to you, so that you never have uh, the situation where your pipeline is empty. It's always full. And what if you only had to say, here's what we do, so are we a fit? Instead of pitching, the usual pitching, when everybody is tired of pitching, aren't they, both giving and listening? What if all this could change and you just say, oh, this is what you want, this is what we do, this is what it costs, and do you see we have a good fit here? We can proceed further. That level, you start at 100 and move from there, instead of pitching from zero. So 0 to 1 itself is a big Herculean task, and then 1 to 10 to 20 to all the way to 100 to get that trust. That is the hardest part. What if you start at 99 and just move one step forward? That's what you need to visualize. This is the power of the silent funnel. It's relevance plus resonance, which equals to results. Relevance plus resonance is equal to results. Now how to think through this? As we started, like the way we started, the first thing is shift in the mindset from how do I hustle harder to get clients. That's the mindset, and it has to be shifted to how do I design a system where my reputation and assets do all the heavy lifting. For example, when people go to Stardom Books, we already put everything they need in our, that all this content that you see on our websites, they're strategically, it's not information. Everything that is put on the website is strategically placed and strategically organized so that we elevate our reputation, we elevate our credibility, and all these assets, the videos, the articles, the images, the PDF that we share, the books that we write and publish, they're all adding and doing these are all assets that are doing the heavy lifting for us, right? So like that. So this is about working smarter and building once and using it or benefiting that what you built as an asset again and again and again, over and over and over again. All right. So that's the idea here. Let's see the 4-part structure or 4-part silent funnel framework. If you are not making notes, you should start making notes now, because these 4 steps will show you exactly how you can build your own silent funnel that works for you 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, even when you're sleeping, and brings you highly qualified clients who are a good fit. There's no point in being in number, because your time is limited, isn't it? You have only a limited amount of time every day, and you want to spend maximum amount of time of your time speaking with prospects or clients or customers who are a good fit, who you can serve well and they can benefit more from you than speaking with like hundreds of them and shooting in the dark. One of them will click. That's not a strategy anymore. Now step 1 is the authority magnet. What do I mean by that? See, the goal here is to establish your credibility without you talking about it, which means what we call as a silent credibility, through positioning assets. How do you do that? Build positioning assets that will raise your credibility. So let me give you some examples. Number 1, a well-positioned book or a memoir or a manifest that has worked really, really well for so many of our clients. You can write or create your lead generation book, or your how-to book, or anything that positions you as an authority in your subject, in your industry. So that will automatically act as a magnet that attracts authority. Or you can also think about a published framework or a methodology or a patent or some kind of a system that only you have, or a kind of a proprietary technology that you have, that will also create that authority for you. Or you can also think about another example would be media features. You're in the media, you're in the news, you're in magazines, you're invited to present keynotes, you are in podcast interviews, people are inviting you to listen and ask questions. So all these features, media features we call, can group them all together like that. That can also increase your authority. And of course, trusted endorsement, trusted referrals from third parties, and validations, endorsements, and testimonials, customer, all these elements can add more authority. So you need to become an authority magnet, and one of the best ways to do that, at Stardom Books we do this. We help our leaders, people in leadership roles, experts, entrepreneurs, professionals, plan, write, edit, publish, market, and distribute their own books. Not just any book, strategically created book that will act as an authority magnet. We'll come to that later. I mean, the idea is not to be everywhere. I mean, excuse me. You don't have to be everywhere. You just need one powerful asset that signals like this is the person and this is the real deal that people want to do business with. You should be that kind of a person. People, as soon as they see you or about you, they Google your name. Your book comes up, your podcast comes up, your TED Talk comes up. Let's say any of these. People should be able to think, oh, this is an expert. I know this guy or girl, gal, whoever that is. This person is an expert at what they do. That because they have published this book, they have been featured here, they are in the news. Oh, I want to work with this person. I know this is a real person, right? That is the kind of idea you want to seed in your prospect's mind even before you meet them or they meet you. So now let me ask you to do an exercise. Think about one asset you already have or you need to create next that elevates your authority. It could be your book, it could be your media feature, it could be a TED Talk, it could be anything that your audience will place a very high trust on. It's not where you place your trust on. Remember this, listen to this carefully. You need to select an asset that your audience will place very high trust on. That should be your next asset that you may already have. Maybe you're already an author of a book. You need to use that. Or you need to create one. Next one, step 2 is creating your invisible offer. What do I mean by that? What? I mean, this is counterintuitive in a sense. Why should the offer be invisible? And if it's invisible, how will you make it visible? See, the goal here is to create a magnetic offer, what we call as a magnetic offer, that your ideal client sees themselves in before you even pitch them. You don't need to pitch them, but before you even talk to them. So what are the elements? What's inside an invisible offer? What makes an invisible offer an effective invisible offer? Number 1, your offer is outcome driven and very specific, which means it talks about the results. It talks about what happens as a result of your product or your service. And it is very, very specific. It will not just say like you'll be a better person or you'll be a better leader. What exactly will happen? What are the results? What are the outcomes? So it will talk about that, your offer, whatever you're offering. I mean, by using the term offer, I mean you may be selling a product or a service or consulting or designing, whatever is your bread and butter. All right. You may even be offering your time as like a salaried person. What is it that you're offering? So your offering is outcome driven, very specific. point by point. So that's what makes an invisible offer. What else? Premium pricing matched with premium positioning. I mean, you want people who want to pay you premium prices. If you want that, you need to offer premium offers, premium position. And it's also matched. I mean, you get what you pay for, isn't it? Some people who visit our website maybe or get exposed to our content, sometimes if they don't understand the value of our offerings, sometimes they think we are expensive. Possible, right? It can happen with anybody. That is why you need to position, and people get what they pay for. I mean, you want something premium, you pay for it, isn't it? That's how the world works. So make sure your offers are also premium. If you want to charge you just can't charge premium prices without offering premium deliverables. So premium pricing matched with premium positioning. Remember this. And then it is also framed in a way that answers this one key question in your prospect's mind, which is this person the one who gets me or understands me? They have to say yes to this. They have to, ask themselves. Your prospects are always asking, whether directly to you or indirectly in their own mind, they are going through this question. Is this the person that I can trust? Is this the person that can understand me? And if they can say yes to both these questions, you have a good fit. Not just a good fit, you have a great fit, isn't it? So a silent funnel works best when you offer, when your offer doesn't need to be sold. You don't have to sell this. It just needs to be discovered. Let me say that again. A silent funnel works best when your offer doesn't need to be sold. It just needs to be discovered. Right? So now let me ask you to pause the video if you are watching this as a replay and answer this question. Write it down. You're asking yourself, can someone tell what problem you solve, for whom, and why it matters just from your homepage or your bio? Just imagine somebody goes to your LinkedIn profile or your website or your About Us page or your blog. They don't have much time, but they're just quickly glancing. And as soon as they glance and get exposed to your content, would they be able to say that this person can solve my problem? As simple as that. Right? Okay. Step number 3 is the soft discovery path. After people qualify themselves, then they need to discover your path. So the goal here is to create kind of what I call as a frictionless and non-salesy, non-pushy kind of path for qualified. They just qualified. Then now step 1, step 2, they've already qualified themselves. You're not qualified. They are qualifying themselves. Now the in this third step, they are going to discover the path on their own. I mean, you are not pushing anybody around. They are exploring on their own, which is the best way of getting the right fit clients, high paying clients, because now they have qualified. They have taken the lead. So if there are no frictions there. If you try to push something, there will be a friction. If they are discovering themselves on their own, it's like they are growing, they are expanding, they are exploring, and they are investing themselves in getting immersed in what you do with your solutions. And they are like kind of discovering, and then they finally approach you. Like they want to work with you, they want to discuss with you, they want to ask questions. So that's how it works. And what does these soft pathways include? I mean, when I say hard pathways, are like you direct them, you handhold, take them around, sometimes even push them around. Salespeople, sometimes go to that extreme when they want to fulfill their targets, they try to push around, threaten, and also use a lot of manipulative tricks and techniques, sales techniques, to convince, to persuade, to, I mean, the extreme case here is manipulate, right? You don't have to do any of the soft pathways, or like, for example, podcast guest appearances, with link to a deep dive page. You just expose, you provide value, or you just tell about the value, and then there's a deep dive. Like if they want to learn more, they go to your website, to your blog, to your video, to your book, whatever that is. Or sometimes it's very popular. Diagnosis or assessments or audits, these kind of things are also really subtle. I mean, they allow people to experience you or what you offer. Calculators, financial program, people who offer financial services like banks, consulting, financial literacy. One of the most popular soft pathways to discover, the clients discover them, are these kind of, the different kinds of calculators, different kinds of assessments. We can generally call them as audits. Or also sometimes behind the scenes resources, like you give them a PDF or a checklist. These are behind the scene resources. Those are also soft pathways that will lead your clients discover you. And sometimes it's also invite only strategy calls. Like you set up a call, you invite people to be on that call. It's a very specific, agenda driven, purpose driven. You tell, nobody is kept in the dark. You give them in advance, like these are the points we are going to discuss, these are the questions we are going to answer. Like kind of a strategy. It's real value. These are not sales calls, these are strategy calls. All right. And sometimes it can also be paid strategy calls. It need not be always free. I myself run paid book planning and clarity sessions. These are paid, but the value they're getting is immense. I make sure that I give 10 times the value, so that when they come to my strategy session by paying a small fee, now their mind is blown. Like they see so much value, a lot of different possibilities, I share my insights and frameworks, and because they have paid, they pay attention and listen to what I got to say. I bring a lot of value. Now they see the value, their trust level, I mean, the trust meter go all the way to the top. So that will also work. So you're not asking for the sale, you're offering insight, you're offering access, you're giving a lot of value in this soft discovery path. And before you go to the step number 4, here's one exercise I want you to do. Think about, write it down. What is your current discovery path? How do clients discover you? What is it? How do they come to know about you? And how you can make it more frictionless and more magnetic in nature. How do you make it more frictionless and more magnetic in nature? In other words, how do you attract people or prospects more easily? Frictionless, that's what it means. They come to you willingly, not with a suspicious mindset, right? Not with a big question mark about trust. They trust you, they know you can provide a solution. How do you do that? That's your assignment. Before we go to the next step number 4, the one conversation that converts it. Now, this is all built up. Step 1, 2, 3. Step 4, the goal here is to use a kind of minimal, high trust closing process that feels like, less of a sales conversation, more of an enrollment kind of conversation. People should not feel that they're being manipulated. People should feel they're being guided, they're being coached, they're getting enrolled in advancing their own situations. Correct? So in a silent funnel, this is where the real conversation happens. Number 1, pre-framed buyers. Like buyers already know what kind of value that you provide, because they know you are an authority, they know you have a great offer, and they have discovered you through one of the soft discovery paths. Now during this conversation, they are pre-framed already, they are ready to buy. They want to know where to sign. They want to know what it's going to cost them and maybe do some evaluation. I'm not saying that everybody who you talk to will buy from you, but the chances of you converting them into paying customers are super high because now they are pre-framed. And now it will also solve this problem of price objections because most of the time, 99% I would say, people make price objections because they don't understand the value. Correct? They don't understand how this all pans out. What are the big benefits? What is the value proposition here? They just ask for the price. How much is this? And they decide, okay, I don't want to spend this much for this offer or product or a service without understanding what the product or service can do. I mean, what is the big difference that you can bring to your client's life, right? They don't know. Unless they know this, they will not, their price objections will always be there, which is very difficult to reverse later. So you need to bring value first, price next, right? So this is how you do it. And the third point, big idea is the call is not about sales. The call is about the fit. Whether the client and you have a good fit. The call is not about convincing. The call is not about selling. The call is not about, uh, manipulating anybody. It should never be. It should never be. The call, the conversation, the one conversation, a step 4 that you are going to have with your prospective clients is just to know whether you both have a good fit, whether the expectations and the deliveries are matching. That's what a good fit means. Correct? So now when your funnel is kind of quite like this and well designed, your sales, or rather specifically your sales call, what you call sales call, kind of becomes a mutual decision call. And it's not going to sound or appear like a sales pitch, especially. People hate pitches, right? And I'm sure you too. You hate pitches. You want customers, your clients to come to you pre-qualified, right? Everybody likes that. And your customers also don't feel that they are signing up for something uh, by a sneaky salesperson. It becomes a kind of collaborative effort. You help them make the right decisions in a conversational style, not as a sales call or a sales pitch. Now, question time. Like, pause the video and answer this question. What will you ask what are you going to ask your prospects on the calls that help, or what kind of questions you want to ask your client that helps them self-sell into working with you? Think about it. It's profound, actually, folks. I can't give you these questions that you want to ask. I want you to think about it on your own, based on your product or service that, or I'll call it as offer, based on your offers. What kind of questions you can ask your prospects on those calls that will help them self-qualify or self-sell. They sell themselves into working with you. Ask, the hint is, ask questions about the value proposition, ask something about what they're going to do with your product or service after they get their services delivered or products delivered, right? Now let me give you a quick case study. We recently worked with a B2B consultant who just had a number of automated lead magnets and all these funnels, and he just removed all of it. Excuse me. All the lead magnets, they were all like cheap, I would say, cheap lead magnets. Removed all of them. We recommended that he removed all of these lead magnets and then focused on writing and giving a published lead generation book for free. Give it away on your website, on your LinkedIn, on your social media, everywhere. Even physical printed copies. Send to your high quality, high paying prospects. So that was the focus, right? And give away not just any book, a published book, because a published book has got a tangible value attached to it. If somebody else wants to get this book, they will have to pay maybe $20 or let's say 500 rupees, whatever the cost of the book is. They're getting it for free and nobody throws away books. Remember this. And as a result of this, within a month, the author of this book, the consultant, got featured on 3 big podcasts. Because podcasts or podcast creators love authors. Why? Because they've written a book. As simple as that. They feature experts. And how do they know someone is an expert? Because the expert is an author. That's why they know or they think. Perceived value of being an expert, being an author is, they are automatically considered better than anybody else. So, and another result was idea was to use a short kind of invitation only form to qualify leads. So he sent people to an invitation only form, a short form, so that he only gets qualified leads to go to the next step. And then he booked 11 calls in a month's time. I'm saying 11 calls, high quality, all pre-qualified, in the next 90 days after the book was released. And then here comes the actual result, the result that you have been waiting for. $180,000, 180K in new consulting revenue without running ads or posting innumerable pieces of content every day. How cool is that? So let's also see some do's and don'ts. Let's go. Do's: build credibility assets that compound over time. The kind of assets that you build, if you do it only for the sake of social media, you are posting fleeting content. Social media posts are also fleeting. You don't get to use today's post maybe later. Repetitive content, repetitive posts lose traction over a period of time. A credibility asset is something that compounds over time. You build one after the other. You write a book, you write another book, the second version, part 2, or a few missing chapters can be given as a download. So a lot of things can happen with a book. And also do's is making it easy for the right fit clients to find you. Not everybody will find you on your LinkedIn, not everybody will find you on your website. Maybe you should be everywhere where the right people can find you. And also, let trust and proof do the talking. Who positions you? The trust and the proof that you can bring to the table, the value that you bring. They do all the selling for you even before you talk to your clients or prospects. And now on the don't section, corollaries of the same thing. Don't chase the next viral post or trend. I have personally tried. We have a marketing team here who their job is marketing, of course, and they are into marketing. They try all these different things. So let's say there is a trending viral post. So you try to imitate that or recreate that or try to use the trend. 99% of the time it fails. The trend worked because it was novel. It will no longer novel if everybody is using the same trend, isn't it? Right? So don't chase the next viral post or trend, and don't hide behind vague blogs or outdated websites. Keep them all current, keep them all updated. In fact, if you have upgraded your offers, if you have changed your products or services, stop or remove content that used to sell your earlier programs, earlier offers, earlier products, because outdated. So you need to be current date. People like someone, you earlier books will work because that is your history, but earlier content like your website, that needs to be updated. And also other don'ts is don't force a sale when your presence can attract it. You don't need to actually sell, just your presence with your aura, with your trust, with your magnetic assets They will just, your presence has to attract. You don't need to physically sell anything because you already have built a silent funnel. Okay. So now what is the first things you need to do? Strengthen your authority magnet. If you don't have, start building your authority magnet. Sharpen your invisible offer. We talked about it, the 4-step process. And simplify your discovery path, which means make it easy for the right fit clients, high paying clients to find you where they are. And also completely reframe your sales conversation. You no longer need to do a sales conversation. You are doing a closing call. Like, I mean, you just have a conversation to figure out the fit, not the sale, right? Whether you have a fit, whether you're with your client or not. That's the kind of conversation you need to have. And the next things to do, of course, if you are not a Stardom Circle member yet, join today at StardomCircle.com and unlock these replays. If you are watching this live, you can also get replays. I mean, and also you can gain full access to the course. We have an entire course on, we call it as the Gain course, and you also enjoy over $4,000 of benefits. Plus, you will gain access to advanced sessions like this every month for an entire year. All recorded versions will be in your members area, so you can access them anytime. And if you're already a Stardom Circle member, you can schedule a call with one of our highly trained publishing advisors to discuss your book idea. Remember, your own book is your number one magnetic asset that attracts the right kind of high paying clients to you. So get expert recommendations that align with your goals, with your aspirations, and schedule a call and talk to our publishing advisors at stardombooks.com/meeting. Go to this URL, schedule your call, explore different options. Now, the most successful client funnels don't shout. Remember this. They whisper, in your client's ears. And this is the person that you have been looking for. That's what they say. That is the feeling they generate in your clients' minds. So then the future of client acquisition or client attraction is going to be strategic, silent, and scalable as well, because everybody else is shouting loud. So people are confused. There's a lot of chaos there. Someone who is building through strategic moves silently and in a scalable way, they are the ones that win. So let's build it that way. Let's build your silent funnel too in this way to become scalable, to become extraordinary, because I believe that you are an extraordinary person yourself. So until the next session or somewhere we meet online, offline, keep smiling, believe in yourself, and get all the best things in life.